All right, we now focus on international developments as well as a special report that we have for you. Let's begin with the international development. As US-Russia talks in Saudi Arabia aim to end the war, a growing divide between the US and Ukraine becomes more apparent. Ukrainian President Zelensky postponed his visit, frustrated by being excluded from the discussions, calling the talks a betrayal and claiming they were held behind Ukraine's back. Tensions have escalated as Trump blamed Zelensky for the conflict, mocking his leadership and low approval ratings. In response, Zelensky accused Trump of being influenced by Russian disinformation. Having said that, all right, listen in to the reactions.
It's a war that would have never happened if I was president, and I've been watching these people being killed at levels that you've rarely seen, not even close, since the Second World War. And I'm very disappointed. I hear that, they're upset about not having a seat. Well, they've had a seat for 3 years and a long time before that. This could have been settled very easily. Just a half-baked negotiator could have settled this years ago without the loss of much land, very little land, without the loss of any lives, and without the loss of cities that are just laying on their side. And I think I have the power to end this war. And I think it's going very well. But today I heard, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal. I could have made a deal for Ukraine that would have given them almost all of the land, everything, almost all of the land, and no people would have been killed, and no city would have been demolished, and not one dome would have been knocked down. But they chose not to do it that way.
Те, що вони обговорюють в Саудівській Аравії свої двосторонні питання, я говорив, це їх право. Хоча я вважаю, що Сполучені Штати Америки допомогли Путіну вийти із багатолітньої ізоляції. І через абсолютно справедливе повномасштабне вторгнення. І ніхто не роздратований. Дивіться, ми до всього готові. І історія про те, що 90% всієї допомоги – це Сполучені Штати, ми з вами розуміємо, що правда вона трішки інша, хоча, безумовно, ми вдячні за допомогу. І тому я би хотів, щоб було більше правди у команди Трампа. Бо все це впливає точно на, точно не позитивно на Україну не впливає, а впливає на те, що вони виводять із ізоляції Путіна.
How are you seeing the talks? Clearly, Volodymyr Zelensky is miffed with US for not including Ukraine in these talks. But the fact of the matter is that in the past, whatever peace talks have happened, Russia was never part of those talks. So what locus standi does Ukraine have to protest against them being omitted from this meeting?
Hello, colleagues. The problem is not only that Ukraine was not invited to the talks in Saudi Arabia. The problem is that Ukrainian interests were not taken into account during this negotiation process. And so this pushed Ukraine to the protest against negotiation, and it worsening the relations between Ukraine and the United States, between Zelensky and Trump. We see it clearly. Talking in general about the negotiation process, of course, we had a few weeks of preparation for that negotiation when Trump and his team was trying to improve the public image of the Russian Federation in the Western world. Then we had with the stage in Saudi Arabia, a negotiation when the sides made the agreement to prepare the infrastructure for the future negotiation. I am talking about the reopening the embassies, charging the ambassadors, and so on and so on. It looks like the United States and Russia took a very high speed to find a solution, maybe till the beginning of the spring even, and to finish this conflict as fast as is possible, because the term which Trump has, his honeymoon, is also very short.
But Ruslan, shouldn't that come as a relief for Ukraine, the fact that the US is negotiating and talking with Russia and moving towards what they would like to call peace?
We don't know exactly. It looks like now United States is trying to find agreement with Russia, not only for Ukraine, but also a wide variety of topics, of geopolitical topics. And it looks like this agreement could make a significant influence on the Ukrainian political system and leads us to changing the government, changing the president. And of course, Ukrainian elites are not ready and they are not supporting such a scenario.
Nikita, a lot of critics are saying that Russia and US are doing a one-sided talk and that leaving out Ukraine and European allies of America means that you're just going to go with Russian side, Russian demands, and that you're not going to be considering at all what Ukraine demands from this entire conflict.
Hello. First of all, we should divide interests of Ukraine and Ukrainians and interests of the Kyiv regime. Kyiv regime does not represent Ukrainian people at all. So we have no need to invite these people from occupied Kyiv to discuss the future of Russian and American relations. We understand that Kyiv-controlled territory is American colony. It is not independent state. It's not economically or military independent. It is controlled from Washington, and of course, Russia and United States discuss what is going to be later. Is Trump ready to give freedom and independence to Ukrainian people, to give them a choice to build their own state or rejoin Russia? Or he's going to continue fight against Ukrainian people and Russia? That is the situation. We should forget about all these talks about President Zelensky. He's not a president, he's an actor who pretends to be a leader. He is a British citizen. What for he should be invited to talk about future of Ukraine? He can go to his favorite London and stay there. It is not his business. We, Russian and Ukrainian people, want to be free. We are fighting for our freedom. And we are glad that Mr. Trump is ready to finish this war against us, that he is ready, I hope, to give us
what Donald Trump has offered Ukraine. He has said, you either give us $500 billion of your mineral wealth in a defined time period, or you become part of Russia. Is that a fair offer to give to Ukraine, when it has lost thousands of its own soldiers and own people fighting a conflict, and when they have their own demands from Russia as well?
At first, as I said, please do not call Kyiv regime Ukraine. It is not a country. It is not people. Ukrainian people are part of Russian army fighting to liberate those cities from American occupation. These are Ukrainians. Mr. Zelensky and other American mercenaries are not Ukrainians. They're representatives of Mr. Trump. And Mr. Trump, of course, wants his money back. He's a businessman. He put some money in Ukrainian project. United States hoped that they will manage to combat Ukrainian and Russian people, to make Ukraine and Russia too as American colony. But they failed. We're still fighting for our freedom, and United States are losing. So Mr. Trump see, it was a Biden mistake. It was failed war. And now he is ready to talk. He is going to talk with leader of Russian and Ukrainian people, Mr. Putin, leader of our two nations. He is going to talk about future of this land.